My siblings and I did not grow up in a traditional home setting. There were four of us children, and all of us had different fathers. Our mother knew she was a beautiful looking woman. I always described her as having the figure of Marilyn Monroe. She would wear clothes that showed off her figure, and that figure got her a lot of attention from all of the men. These men could be single or married, and they all would give our mother a second or third glance. She used her good looks to get her any man that she wanted, and she would bring all those different men to our home. If she was not bringing a bunch of different men home with her, she was leaving her children home alone to be with them. I am the oldest of her four children, and I had to look after my siblings whenever she was not around, which was most of my life and all of theirs. Our mother did not seem to care who she was attracted to. No one's man was off limits in her eyes. If she was attracted to them, then she was going to get them, even if it was only for one night. Men were willing to risk their marriages just to be with our mother. They did not care, and she did not care. All they saw was her beauty. So she knew if she wanted them, they were hers, even for just one night. Me, being the oldest child, I saw men come and go with the quickness. As a teenager, I would be embarrassed whenever she would walk in the door with some man, and they would go straight upstairs to her bedroom. She seems to think there was nothing wrong with it because it was her home. My female friends would always tell me how pretty my mom was, and the young neighborhood boys would say things like, "Man, your mom is fine." She has brought policemen, a pastor, the insurance man, and a doctor to our home. And as a teenager, I knew what they were doing. It really started to hurt me that she was using her beauty to get all these different men. But she did not seem to be bothered by allowing her children to view this behavior. Well, one morning I heard our mother leave to go to an appointment that she informed me that she had a week ago. So I went up to her bedroom to put some laundry away in her dresser drawer. Her bedroom door was shut, but since I witnessed her leave, I opened the door and went in. Her laundry was piled high in my arms, so I walked straight over to her dresser and put her things away. As I turned towards her door to go out of her bedroom, what did I see? A man that was asleep in her bed with no shirt on. The rest of him was covered up, but his face was visible. I nearly gasped when I saw who was asleep in my mother's bed. It was one of my best friend's current boyfriend. I stood in disbelief. He was my friend's boyfriend and at least 20 years younger than her. After staring at him asleep in my mother's bed for several minutes, I snapped out of it and quietly walked out of the room and lightly closed the bedroom door behind me. My room was downstairs, so I quickly went to my room and shut my bedroom door. I sat on the edge of my bed and my mind was racing. WTH was going on. I did not know they even knew each other. My mother knew my best friend because she is friends with her mother. But how did she come to know my best friend's boyfriend, especially well enough for him to be in her bedroom and to have spent the night? I wondered if he knew she was my mother. He knows his girlfriend and I are besties. So, if my mom was over to her mom's house and he met her over there, then they would have introduced her as my mother. As I was sitting on the edge of my bed, wondering how they met, I heard the front door open and close. I opened my bedroom door and quietly walked to the front door and looked out the window. And there I saw him drive off in his car. It was late morning, and his car has been in our driveway all night and most of the morning. I went back to my room and I sat back on my bed thinking about how could they be doing this. I know that no one is off limits when my mother wants a man, but for him to be doing this was baffling to me. I never mentioned anything about what I saw to my mother. Well, about a week went by, and one night about 1 a.m., I was awakened by the front door being closed and locked. After a few minutes, I quietly opened my bedroom door, and through the darkness, I quietly tiptoed to the living room and peeped out the window. And whose car do I see in the driveway again? My best friend's boyfriend was back over with my mother. And once again, I said nothing. You see, a while back, I witnessed my mother bringing home one of the neighbor's husbands. And when I, as a teenager, said something about it, my mother told me that she is grown and she will do whatever she wants in her home since she pays the bills. So therefore, I have never mentioned her behavior to her again. Well, my bestie's boyfriend was coming over and spending the night with our mother and leaving before anyone got up. But I was aware of his comings and goings. One day, I went over to my best friend's house, but she was not home. But her mother was there. Her mother asked me to come in. She wanted to talk to me about something. I came in and sat down at the kitchen table because she was cooking dinner. She started talking about my friendship with her daughter. Then, what she said next nearly knocked me out of my seat. She said that rumor has it that her daughter's boyfriend's car has been spotted at my home. She said that he has been seen coming out of my house early in the morning. She said that one night they drove by my home and saw his car in our driveway at 2 a.m. When they questioned him, he said it was not him and it was not his car. She said how hurt her daughter is and how she was going to confront me. Her mother asked me how I could do something like this. She asked me to explain to her what was going on with me and her daughter's boyfriend. What I said to her next shocked even her. I said, I am not and have never slept with my friend's boyfriend. My mother is sleeping with him, not me. I was not going to allow them to think that about me. I told the truth. Miss B, how can a mother have no respect for her own body and do not care what kind of behavior her children are being subjected to by her own actions? There are so many mothers and fathers that do not think about how their actions will or are affecting their children or loved ones. They are out there living their lives as what works for them. So, to answer your question, your mother feels this is who she is and how she wants to live her life. She will not allow anyone to tell her how to live it, even if it hurts her children. And in return, she does not care who she subjects her behavior in front of or towards. If you are enjoying my videos, please hit the like and subscribe buttons.